Today we're going to be comparing the 2020 Kia Telluride on the left versus the 2020 Toyota Highlander on the right. Both of these are mid-size SUVs, and so it'll be interesting to see how these two compare, considering that this is the most competitive market right after compact crossovers. So this will be a very interesting comparison, so let's go ahead and get started with pricing and specs. So the Telluride is on the left and the Highlander is on the right. And so the Telluride starts at around $31,890 to $43,790, and that is for the SX all-wheel drive version. And that's pretty average. I mean, it could be a little bit cheaper, but it's fine just where it is. And then fuel economy is 20 miles a gallon in the city and 26 on the highway, with 23 pretty much combined city and highway driving. So not bad. Could be better, could be worse, but as it stands, not bad. And this one has 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. So pretty healthy numbers for a vehicle of this class. And then the Highlander has starts at $34,600, and you can option up to $48,800. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're creeping into Lexus territory, and the Highlander is not quite there yet. It looks nice, but it's not Lexus nice. So it needs to just be a little bit cheaper, maybe 45, but almost 50, over 50 with taxes. We're creeping into Lexus territory, which we should not be. Anyway, this particular one gets 21 city and 29 highway, which is okay, about 24, 25 combined. And then 295 horsepower and 263 pound-feet of torque, which again, pretty healthy for this class, pretty healthy for this segment, but as it stands, it's all right. Next up, we move to dimensions and seating capacity. And, I mean, the Telluride gets 21 cubic feet with the seats in their upright position and 87 with the seats folded, which, I mean, could be better. Some get into the triple digits, but as it stands, it's all right. And it can seat 7 to 8 people, which most mid-size crossovers, if not all, can do that. 7 if you have the captain's chairs in the middle, 8 if you have the bench seat in the middle. So it all just depends. And it is 78.3 inches wide and 196.9 inches long. While the Highlander is 16 or gets 16 cubic feet with the seats in their upright position and 84 with all the seats folded. Pretty healthy, but I mean, you can't really fold all of the seats down all the time, considering that you got the car specifically so you can have the seats up. So you'll most likely just be using that 16, and you'll most likely just be using that 21. So pretty okay for, like I said, for what it offers. So it can seat 7 to 8 just like the Telluride, and it is 76 inches wide and 195 inches long. So, pretty average. So next up, we move to mechanical, and both are front and all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive will probably be used most commonly down in the south, in places where it doesn't really rain all that much, and all-wheel drive will probably be used mostly in the northern areas where it snows a lot. You can get stuck easier, but I mean, it depends on where you live and what preferences you want. Both have 8-speed automatic transmissions, and I looked it up. I did not see any CVT, so that's quite interesting. If you know about CVTs in these two SUVs, please comment that below, because I don't know about any CVTs in these particular SUVs. It'll be interesting to see if there's any CVTs. Anyway, the Telluride gives you a 3.8 liter V6, while the Highlander gives you a 3.5 liter V6. So I mean, they're both in the same league. All of the 3-row SUVs, all the mid-size SUVs give you V6s. So there's that. Now we move on to the pros. This is kind of interesting to me because the Telluride has pretty attractive styling. By that I mean it's distinguishable. It looks nice and it's distinguishable. You see one in traffic, oh, you know that's a Telluride, and not a CX-5 or something like that, or a CX-7 or whatever, or versus the Highlander where it's mainstream, blends in with every other car. The Telluride kind of has its own design, which I like. Pretty spacious interior. They know what they're doing. Third row, not too bad. Middle row, also not too bad. And then obviously the front seats, not too bad. Now it could obviously be better, but considering how long it is and the kind of car it is, it's a midsize. That's actually pretty good. Smooth ride quality. It rides like a luxury car, like an X5 or something, even though it's a Kia. So Kia's definitely stepped up its game since the Sophia, which is nice. Anyway, then finally the powertrain, 10-year, 100,000 miles. Um, Most people buy Hyundais and Kias solely for that reason, which is the reason why I think a lot of Tellurides are going to be sold. Um, so there's that. And then for the Highlander, top-notch reliability. This thing is very reliable. Its engine is very reliable. It'll start up every time, at least until you hit the 150,000 mark. And that's when you might start having some issues. But even then, I suspect you'll see these things in 10, 15, 20 years with 350,000 miles on the clock, and it'll still be running because it's a Toyota. It's a pretty spacious interior, first and middle row. Third row, not so much, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then finally, bold styling. Now, I personally like the way it looks compared to the previous generation Highlander, but it's still a Highlander. It's still a Toyota midsize crossover. It's definitely not the most attractive car out there. But anyway, the cons for the Telluride are poor entertainment system. So that's just the drop-down TV that you get in the third and second row. You don't have that, but you can live with it. No automatic parking. Unless you're like trash at parallel parking and you work downtown where you need to parallel park. I don't see this being that much of a problem, but it still might be a problem if you don't know how to parallel park, or if you want a little bit more assistance parking into a narrow parking spot in a parking lot or something like that. And so that might be a deal breaker, might not. We'll see. And then finally, overly aggressive lane keep assist. I mean, it'll steer you out of its lane. I mean, jerk you out of the lane to prevent an accident, but you can turn that off. So if you don't like it, just turn it off. Don't skip over the car because it has potentially dangerous lane keep assist. Find out how to turn it off in the owner's manual, and you don't have to deal with that. But some people don't know that there's an owner's manual for cars, and those people probably don't care about cars. Anyway, cons for the Highlander, cramped third row, like I said earlier, is really meant for kids, maybe short rides. I mean, really short rides, like to the grocery store or, something like that, maybe to school or to soccer practice. But I hope you don't plan on using this to go out of town and you have 6 different kids. Get a minivan if you need to do that. There's no way you're going to be able to do that, and all of your passengers are going to be perfectly comfortable. And then no seat height adjustment for front passenger. Really, Toyota? You can't give them up, down, power seats. That's interesting to say the least, but I'm not going to harp on that. And then subpar interior quality. I mean, it's just average, maybe even a little bit below average. Interior pieces, they work. Toyota does. It's not a Lexus, so they're not going to give it the nicest interior. But I mean, it works. It's reliable. It's durable. That's the whole reason you get a Highlander. It's reliable. It's durable. You can last 6, maybe even 700,000 miles. I seriously doubt it, but you never know. Anyway, and now the winner. Now, the clear winner is a Telluride all the way. It has a nice interior. It has a spacious interior. It has a nice warranty. It's cheaper. It looks nicer. Yeah, the Telluride is definitely the clear winner. But if you want just a little bit more power, just a little bit better fuel economy, and all around better reliability, then yeah, get the Highlander, but you're missing out on that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So potentially you won't have to spend any money on this car other than oil changes and gas and maintenance like that up until 2030. But if you don't care about that, then yeah, get the Highlander. I can only see a few reasons why you would actually get the Highlander over the Telluride, which, like I said, just a little bit better performance. And I mean just a little bit. I don't know the exact 0 to 60s, but say that the Telluride does an 8.7. Wow, the Highlander will do an 8.4. 0.3 seconds faster to 60, which about 3 people who are buying these cars care about. No one cares about 0 to 60 if you're getting a midsize SUV. You care about practicality. And also, the Telluride is more practical. So the Telluride is more usable for daily situations, and the Highlander is more usable for no situations. Cramped third row, boring interior, boring driving experience, no warranty. It's overpriced for what it offers. I mean, it has maybe 1 or 2 things that the Telluride doesn't have, like parking assist, but I mean, that's the only thing that it has over the Telluride. The Telluride is so much better and it's a lot cheaper. So why would you get a Highlander over a Telluride? I mean, another reason, I guess, maybe is because the Highlander's been out, so they were able to fix it, but I mean, that's the only thing I can possibly think of. Most people who are in this market, I would say, get the Telluride. It's the clear winner. It gives you a lot more. It gives you a lot more car for your money versus the Highlander. So, I mean, it's ultimately your decision. If you want to spend the extra $5,000 for 2 horsepower, then go out and get the Highlander. But if you're smart, you would get the Telluride. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.